So what is 3D printing? Additive manufacturing engineering is basically taking a small substance and adding that in small quantities to make something bigger. Now, there are different ways that you can actually implement this process. And boy, when I say there are different ways, there's a plethora. There's actually carbon fiber 3D printing, there's metal 3D printing, and it's actually even getting into the medical field where they're starting to take different tissues and fibers and help them create different body parts to actually help biomechanically replace different limbs. Now, slow down. In order to get into something like that, that's going to be millions and millions of dollars. I'm going to be getting more into FDM printing and resin printing, more so smaller scale stuff that you could do right in your home or right in your closet. Now, before we get into the machine and its function, let me help you understand how to create or find a file to get started. The creation of STL files, which is basically stereolithography, yeah, like that's super simple to say, or standard triangle language. This basically means the manipulation of shapes, such as triangles or squares, things of that nature, to create an image that a computer can recognize and translate and create into a language for your printer to understand. Now, to help you visualize that, imagine you, creator of the STL or the image. Now, to turn this image from a figment of your imagination into a solid, you use a language or software, like for example Blender, which is what I'm on now. There's ZBrush. There's different types of softwares that you can use on either your computer or your tablet and basically manipulate it onto this plane and basically create coordinates. But as you can see on this plane, the coordinates don't go by north, south, east, or west. As you can see over here in the top right, they go by X, Y, and Z coordinates. Probably sounds familiar from math class. But after either creating the file or downloading a free file from a site like Thingiverse, or we can actually purchase a model from DO3D, you're now ready to move on to the next phase, which is materializing your STL file and bringing it into a state of matter. Once I started doing my research and looking into what I can actually make, the possibilities are endless. You can make different things such as sneakers, to different tools, tool accessories, or tool holders. You can even scale it up a bit and make something for your car. Maybe you need a new spoiler, you can scale it up for something like that. Or maybe you have a smaller part in your car that may be missing, like a cup holder. Get creative. Or maybe you're somebody who's into robotics, electronics, and you like programming things to make things move. Or maybe you just want to add something new to the house and spice it up with some new decoration. Now, although I may use my 3D printer to create different helmets and props, I also get my hands a little dirty in electronics and adding different mechanics so that way my prints actually have a brain or have a function. So tell me, now knowing this, what would you make? Why haven't you started? There are many different 3D printers made for beginners, made for pros, or intermediate, with different price ranges, something that'll actually fit your budget. And like I said, it's something that'll actually fit in your closet in your home where you can actually get started today. Having a hard time during the beginning of the process? Leave a comment. Me or my community would definitely be open to helping you out during this process, or check out my how-to section where I have different processes on sand and rough 3D prints, how to level your bed, how to change your nozzle or how to clean that nozzle, just basic maintenance that you're going to be doing, and what tools you should have. So I mean, there's really no excuse, and if there is an excuse, you could probably just 3D print something to fix that excuse and then keep going from there. Now with the file that you just downloaded onto your SD card, pretty much the same way you would download like a PDF file onto one of these, you're now ready to insert this into your printer and start getting printing. But there's just one more thing that you're gonna have to do before doing that. Now with new technology like the K1 and others, yes, these come at a higher price point, but you get a lot more assistance with setup and mechanically. As you can see here, you get hands-free, fully automatic bed leveling and calibration. Now let me tell you something, that is a game changer, because leveling your printer for a lot of newer or beginners, that's one of the biggest challenges, and that's what makes a lot of people throw out their 3D printers. Now there are different 3D printers that come at a much cheaper price, where you can get that exact same function. But along with that, you get one button automatic detection with instant reporting, which is something very big, where you get a clog and your printer just keeps printing and printing and printing, and you either come back to a big thing of spaghetti string or one big blob right over your printer head. So yes, you do pay a little bit more, but again, you get a lot more features. Now, when I started out with one of these, an Ender 3 Pro. Now this is an Ender 3 S1 Pro, so basically the only features that you didn't get were the touchscreen and the LCD screen. Other than that, everything is basically the same, but I had to assemble this printer from basically scratch. I had to assemble the legs, I had to assemble the Z-axis, I had to assemble the bed onto the printer, I had to add the filament holder. You basically had to put everything together from scratch. Actually, wasn't a bad thing because I actually learned a lot about the printer, I learned a lot about the assembly, and I learned how everything works. But like I said, you can also just purchase one thing, get it and go, just attach the main delicates like maybe the glass doors on it, maybe just add in the plugs for power, and you're set from there. So are you somebody like me who likes to make different tales, different props from different movies or different depictions? Or are you somebody who may be more into jewelry? Maybe you want to make your own beads or necklaces. Or maybe you're somebody who's into watches and maybe you want to create your own prototype and learn how the mechanics work. Maybe you just want to copy Kanye and make your first sneaker and make your own sneaker line. Now that you have a basic understanding of not only the brains of the STLs and how to create them or find them, and the hardware of how to use it and actually how to print, will you pick up a 3D printer and discover your talent or discover something that you've always wanted to do? Create your own journey. But in the meantime, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and come along for the journey with the Comic Shop. Easy Comic Ninja.